What's up, everybody? We've got a bunch of Tein suspension components in front of me right here. We've got a few different kits. These are both for the coupe and sedan non-SI 10th gen Honda Civics. And we're just going to go through the features of these, kind of tell you a little bit about them, and tell you why you might want them. So let's get going. What's going on, everybody? It's JP here from Edge Autosport.com. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have some Tein suspension components in stock and on this table for you to see. These are for the 10th Gen Civic. The coilover kits, I lied in the intro. The coilover kits are actually for the coupe and the sedan only and the non-SI versions. But we do have a set of lowering springs over here that we're going to go over. Those actually fit all the 10th gen Honda Civics except for the Type R. So you can use those on everything except for Type R. So we will just get right into it, but make sure that if any of these interest you, if you have any questions, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think of the video. And also, if you are interested in putting these on your car, head over to edgeautosport.com. You can find these on the website, and it's always great deals, fast shipping. Just let us know how we can help, and we're glad to do that. So we're going to start off with the lowering spring. So this is a front spring. Excuse me, this is a rear spring. Sorry about that. This is the front spring. So you can see it's a progressive spring on the front. So that's going to control the ride quality quite a bit, make it softer in certain areas, stiffer in other areas, kind of give it some good characteristics for all around use on the street and the track too, you know, a mild track day or something like that. These are really, really nicely finished. It's a nice green powder coat that Tein puts on these. They're kind of the signature green. I always liked the look of Tein stuff. The green is pretty cool. They have these kind of plastic spring insulators here. So this is going to keep the spring quiet as it compresses and moves up and down. Sometimes, you know, this spring can rest on, one coil can rest on another coil as it compresses. So that keeps it nice and quiet. At the end of the day, this is a pretty simple modification. These are made to go with either the factory shocks, or you can do an upgraded factory replacement shock. So if you have a little bit more aggressive shock you want to run, but it's still just a factory replacement shock, you can use them with these springs as well. On the non-SI models, these springs are going to lower the car about 1.4 inches in the front and the rear, according to Tein. On the SI models, they're going to lower it about 1.2 in the front and about an inch in the back, according to Tein. So pretty similar drop, and I would imagine the SI is maybe slightly lower from the factory anyway. So, you know, it'll be a pretty similar drop across the board. And again, these are going to fit all the coupes and sedans and hatches that are non-Type R and non-SI. Whether it's a 2-liter or a 1.5 turbo, it's going to fit all those. So there you go with the lowering springs. Again, if you have any questions, just let us know. And we'll move on to the coilovers here. So there's two distinct differences between these two sets of coilovers, and it's going to be the upper camber adjustment, the upper mounting plate on one set as opposed to the other. So I'll go over the one that does not have the upper plate on it. So this is, let's see here, this is the Street Advance Z set right here. The other one is the Flex Z set. So that's how you can tell by the name. But this is the shock on the Street Advance Z. It obviously does not come with the upper camber plate, the upper mounting plate. You're going to reuse the factory plate on that one. And that's really actually pretty common on a lot of street cars. Even some higher end suspension companies do that. That's not just a feature of just lower end stuff. So a lot of companies use the OEM upper mounting points. So as you can see here at the top though, it's still adjustable at the top. So these are still dampening adjustable, which is nice. You can set the ride comfort level according to what you want. You can make it a little bit more aggressive if you're taking it to the track, or if you just like that in general. You could also set it a little bit softer if you just like a more comfortable ride on the street. You can play with it and just kind of dial it into where you want it to be. So this is a twin tube damper also. A lot of twin tube dampers, you'll see the inner rod is a little bit thinner than some others that are out there. And that's because the inner construction of the shock body allows the oil to travel a little bit differently than in a mono tube. The twin tube is a little bit better for the street. It has a little bit more length that it can travel, so there's a little bit more travel involved in a twin tube shock. And it kind of acts as a progressive shock. So it's not just a straightforward boom, one up and down motion. It actually kind of acts progressively as it moves up and down. So this is a good design for the street. So if you're just strictly using your car on the street, these are perfectly fine. As you can see right here, there's these mounting, the lower spring perch, the lower spring mounts down here. This is what you adjust the height with. As you move this lower spring perch collar here up and down along these threads, that's how you adjust the height, and the spring sits just right on top of here. The construction of the shock body itself is really, really nice. Everything's powder coated. Everything has a really, really durable finish on it, and a nice coating that Tein puts on there to make sure that it doesn't rust very easily at all. These are going to last a long time. You have a bump stop right here, a little bit smaller one, but you know, there's only so much travel on a lowering suspension, so this is a little bit smaller than something you'd find on the factory, but a bump stop is included. So there you go. That's the front on the Street Advance Z. This is the rear. The rears are really going to be similar. They both come with the upper shock mount, and you can adjust the dampening on the top of here too, but just by twisting the knob, very easy. It just clicks, super easy to feel it. Both of the shocks come with dust boots. So you put the dust boot on the front. This one is already assembled on here for you. This is going to help keep the shock in really good shape and clean from debris and rocks and just grime on the road. This will keep it in much nicer shape. And you know, the lower shock mount is fixed. Everything is pretty stock style on this strut right here. And at the end of the day, the rears, as is on a lot of coilovers, they're not a true coilover. This is going to sit in the lower control arm, just like the factory spring, but the front is obviously maintaining the coilover setup. So the springs also feature those insulators that are going to keep it nice and quiet. They're going to keep the ride nice and smooth, and a progressive rate on here for the front as well. And there you go. So springs and shocks for the Street Advance Z set of coilovers. So we'll move on now to the Flex Z coilovers. These are the ones that come with this upper camber plate. And the major difference, other than just the fact that it comes with an upper mounting plate, is you can adjust the camber from this plate right here. You can also adjust the dampening, just like on the other one up at the top. It's going to have the same general construction. The dust boot is already assembled on here. This is just a really, really nice clean setup. So on this one, there is actually another major difference on how you adjust the height on this set of coilovers compared to the Street Advance Z. You adjust the height using the shock body. So as you can see, this twists along the threads on the shock body so you can adjust the height. What that's going to do is it's going to keep the travel and the length, the stroke of the shock. It's going to be able to keep it the same as you lower and raise the car. The spring perch simply is just for preload. You set the perch where you want it to be for preload of the spring, and then you adjust the height from the shock body. And you can actually twist this while it's on the car, just like so. So it's really not super hard to adjust, even though you do it through the shock body. Still a pretty easy process, but that is another fundamental difference from this one going to this one right here. So just a little bit more complete coilover setup. Both of them have 16 levels of adjustment for the dampening, from soft all the way to hard. So quite a big adjustment level there. This is also twin tube. So major two differences are the height adjustment and the upper camber plates on these. And of course, these come with the four springs, 4 shocks. Everything's good to go. The rear is going to be height adjustable from the shock body as well down here, as you can see the threads and the locking collar here. So a little bit different from the other one. Both kits are going to come with the spanner wrenches right here. So these wrenches allow you to loosen the spring perches and the locking collars for the height adjustment and the spring preload adjustment. Both kits come with these, so that is in there. They both come with just some general instructions, general settings information, some other accessories, a little dampening knob adjustment for the upper locations where you can stick kind of an Allen tool down in and adjust it. So everything is included. They even give you some stickers and some little badges here, so that's kind of nice. Overall, honestly, I really love the Tein stuff. It's always been a really, really great product, especially for the price. They've been around a long time. They've been doing this a long time, and they make really good products. They are all made in Japan, so the construction is there, the quality is there, the engineering and design is there. So I've always liked Tein, and you should 100% feel comfortable putting it on your car. And like I said before, if you have any questions or need to know anything more than what I just said about this stuff, just let us know. We'd be glad to help. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.